This is the KUSI News at 6:30.
Good evening and welcome to the KUSI News at 6:30. I'm Alan Denton.
And I'm Sandra Moss. Thank you for joining us. The FBI is reopening the case into Hillary Clinton's email probe. In the letter, FBI Director James Comey says his team was working on the sexting case of former Congressman Anthony Weiner when they found new emails related to Hillary Clinton on one of Weiner's seized devices. Weiner's wife, Huma Abedin, is Hillary Clinton's closest aide. Comey said his agents will review the emails to determine whether they contain classified information.
So the question is, why would James Comey reopen the case just 11 days before the election?
He could have waited until the day before if he wanted, but he chose today. Was he under pressure to reopen the case? KUSI contributor Mark Larson is here with his thoughts.
Been a hot topic all day on our radio station on AM 1170, where I toil in the morning. I mean, this thing broke in the 10 o'clock hour, and immediately we saw bipartisan response, didn't we? Because automatically Democrats are saying he needs to reveal everything he has now, Comey does, and the Republicans said, get it all out there, we want to see it. Bottom line is, we're unlikely to see any of that and any results until after the election, much like a lot of other things.
Don't you think he almost has to have some sort of a press conference, even though it's ongoing, to at least say that this is either tied directly to Uma or, you know, whatever?
Let's look at it this way. If there's the other way around, the Democrats would be just fine with it. Republicans would be. You know, we've seen this dance before. Comey really, as director of the FBI, didn't have a whole lot of choice, and he also had something that hasn't been talked about a lot today. In recent weeks, a lot of stories about disgruntled people within the agency, within the FBI, having a problem with how some of these things have been handled since Comey went out in July with this. So if someone comes in and says, hey, we're investigating and we have Huma Abedin's info here, and there's something that could be, as he said in his wording to Congress, that it could be pertinent, what's his choice? He doesn't have a choice there. In fact, it would be worse if he just ignored it, because then that's part of possibly a cover-up. So is there something there? If you use the word pertinent, there's probably something. Is it a game changer? Who knows? It's not been a good week this week for Hillary Clinton's campaign on many fronts. She also apparently had Wi-Fi in her campaign plane today, and that was down the whole time. So when they got there, you know, we've all done that. Sometimes you turn on your phone when you land after you don't have Wi-Fi, and there's like a document dump in your own phone.
Right.
There was a picture that floated around that Reuters and some others had where Hillary's talking to Uma, and you come up with a lot of captions for that. So
how can that Wi-Fi? Let's just go off in the press plane. I mean, that seems a little odd.
We've all been on flights though where they have it, and then somehow they can't reboot it. And
but we're talking about somebody that's running for president of the United States. Unless the technology she has on that plane is far more superior than what you're going to have on a Southwest flight.
You would think. It's not like you're flying a Southwest or something.
It took her 6 hours to personally come. So do I. Personally come out and actually address this. It took her 6 hours from when this broke at about 10 o'clock to come out at 4, and it was billed as she's going to have a press conference there in Iowa. Well, it was just under 4 minutes. I mean, that wasn't really much.
Well, it really is to her advantage to get as much information about those emails out right now than ever. There's been speculation and actually some reports that there are thousands of emails on the laptop that Abedin shared with Anthony Weiner. Could they be part of the missing 30,000?
Might be some other ones. What we keep finding are more mysteries here, that apparently the FBI didn't exactly go and grab her computer, Huma Abedin's computer, early on, just like we found out when they did interview Hillary Clinton shortly before the week where Comey came out and announced what sounded like a rap sheet and then said we weren't going to go there. There are a lot of things that they didn't do that now look really, really bad.
Let me ask you this. If Comey doesn't come out between now and the election and clear the air, at least give us some indication of where this investigation is going, how bad does this hurt Hillary?
Well, there's early voting, and right now, just like a couple of weeks ago when the first of these Trump videos, like when the Access Hollywood video came out, you had people saying, I heard it on my radio show, they would say, well, do I get my vote back? I voted early. Now, that's not how it works. So buyer's remorse today is for some of the Hillary voters. I mean, there have been millions of those out there, but there's a lot more who haven't voted yet. And again, that's why the strategy has been vote early, vote often. Well, don't vote often.
So if this information doesn't come out before Election Day, there is the possibility that America could elect a president who would be under criminal indictment.
Yes.
before
it could be.
she
That's why when
sworn in.
Trump said today about how this is the worst thing since Watergate, a lot of the discussions have been, well, Watergate was different. Watergate was an 18-minute gap, and there was a break-in and all of that. This could be potentially a lot worse in terms of what happens after Inauguration Day as somebody who is really under the gun of scrutiny.
We're out of time, but by the same token, even if she were, this would all play out, I mean, President Obama could pardon her. Just like
we also know that he used a pseudonym. Obama.
Right.
That was one of the reasons which many have speculated is why Comey didn't press it was because Obama was in the middle with a pseudonym while saying he knew nothing about
and I know
the
that's
private server.
Speculating way down the road. But
Well,
I mean,
that's
everything's in play.
And today, Hillary in her press conference said, "I think most people have decided they're past the emails."
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Thank you, Mark.